Growing up, I had 6 brothers and sisters that are older than me. Well, not growing up. I still have them. My dad, hey, Carley, come on. Burning daylight here. What's up, guys? I have another phrase for you all today. And this phrase is just so near and dear to my heart because it's a phrase that I heard on repeats all the time, almost every day growing up. The phrase is burning daylight. Again, that is burning daylight. Now, if you're out there and you're one of my siblings, you know what I'm talking about. Good old dad, right?
Dear old dad, remember this too. In this whole wide world, there's no one like you.
Yeah, dad, with the burning daylight all the time. When I was a kid, it was kind of annoying. As an adult, I understand. I like being on a schedule too, so I get it. Burning daylight is just a phrase that means to waste the daylight hours, all right? If you're burning daylight, you're wasting the daylight hours. You're wasting the day away. You could be doing something more productive, but instead you're not. You're burning daylight, all right? You're wasting the day away. So I jokingly mentioned my dad because I cannot say this phrase without my dad's voice in my head. Like, that's literally how I say this phrase when I tell my kids this, even my husband sometimes, or even I tell it to myself, like, come on, Carley, get your work done. You're burning daylight. I don't say it in this voice inside my head. I hear my dad's voice still to this day. I'm 31 years old. I still hear my dad's voice inside my head saying, hey, come on, we're burning daylight. And it's always the snap too, like, burning daylight, let's go. And I heard this so many times growing up. I had 6 brothers and sisters that are older than me. Well, not growing up. I still have them, but I had a lot of siblings and I know they can attest. Everybody knows this phrase because my dad would always say burning daylight. I kind of grew up as a single child, or what do they call that? Lonely child? No, solo child? Only child. Okay. I kind of grew up as an only child, even though I had a bunch of siblings because of the age gaps, which I know I've mentioned before on my YouTube channel. But just to reiterate, there's some big age gaps in between my siblings and I was kind of like a whoop, surprise, I'm here, baby. When my parents were older and they thought they were done having kids, I came along, so my siblings were a lot older than me. So because of that, I was raised as an only child. So a lot of responsibilities that my parents would do or that my siblings had done in the past fell onto me as I became an adult. And I remember my dad waking me up early on the weekend and saying, come on, Carley, burning daylight, let's get these chores done. Now, the chores in question was picking up sticks. You think, oh, that's not so bad, Carley, because my dad had to mow the grass, you know, with a lawnmower, just get out there, mow the grass.
Here we go! Come on! Yes! Let's mow this lawn!
You think, okay, Carley, picking up sticks, that's fine. You want to pick up the sticks to make sure the sticks don't get stuck in the lawnmower and then cause damage. So that's a good job for a kid to have. Yes, but my family owns like 6.5 acres of land, which, if you don't know, it's like a couple football fields worth of land. It's a lot. Because of that, it was a lot of sticks that I had to pick up. Also, I'm from Florida. Hurricane season was not fun when there would be sticks everywhere that I would have to pick up. And then after my dad mowed the grass, I would have to go and rake all the nastiness up, you know, like the hay. I don't know what you call it. The leftover grass that comes up, I would have to go and rake that up. So it was a lot of stuff that I had to do. The weekend, it wasn't even a weekend sometimes. You know, I got to do fun things every now and then, but you know, most of the time it was bright and early. My dad,
Hey, Carley, come on. Burning daylight here.
I get out there, I get to work. I'm not saying that I had to do this all the time. I didn't. It was like once or twice a month, maybe, if that. But it was frequent enough for me to have a core memory of that. Now, on vacation as well, my dad, he would say this on vacation almost every day of vacation because, yes, it was a vacation. We are supposed to relax and have fun on vacation. But my parents, and I'm kind of the same way, they didn't want to waste any minute. of vacation because it's precious time that you paid for. You might as well go out and have fun and explore. So even though I went on vacations with my parents growing up, and I was privileged enough to go on many vacations with my parents. My parents love to travel here within the United States, road trip wise. I didn't really do international travel until I became a teenager or an adult myself because my parents weren't too keen on it. No, not my dad was very much into international travel because he went literally everywhere, 90 something countries with the Navy, but my mom didn't like traveling in an airplane. That's why we did a lot of road trips. Because of that, I was able to visit almost all 50 states. I've been to like 40 something of them, and I'm really grateful for that. But every time we went out of town on a trip, a road trip, yeah, it was a vacation, but in the morning you would hear that,
Come on guys, burning daylight, let's go.
bright and early, 6 a.m. at the latest, 5 a.m. Usually that's around the time, 5:30, 6 a.m. at the latest. Boom, let's go. You know, we're burning daylight. This happened a lot growing up, and I kind of, take the same approach when I'm on vacation as an adult. I like to get up early. I like to seize the day. I like to take advantage of all the daylight. And I learned that from my dad because he was that way. And waking up early on vacation, I can't sleep well when I'm on vacation because I have like FOMO. If you don't know what that is, you can check it out right here. I have FOMO of missing out on things, and I want to just get up because we're burning daylight. I want to get up and get out and see all the sights that I can see when I'm on vacation. I'm just going to tell you guys this little story. So that happened to me growing up with my dad. A few months ago, unfortunately, I had a sick family member. She did pass away, my aunt. I wanted to visit her before it was too late. So I'm switching from like a light note to a little bit of a sad note, but it's okay. So I went to visit her in Mississippi, and I took my kids and I met up with my parents. We all met to visit her and everything. And my parents and I, we stayed together. Like I told you before, maybe, my dad is military. So we stayed at a military base. We were able to stay at basically military housing. So like my kids had their room. I had my own room. My parents had their own room. And it's like military housing, kind of like a hotel for the night. So we were able to stay there. And that night, my dad was like, all right, Carley, like, no rush tomorrow. We're going to take it easy. We have to run by your uncle's house before we leave to go back. My parents were going back to Florida. I was going back to my home. So they're like, you know what? Let's just take our time, get ready. We don't have to get up too early, and then we'll head out. And I was like, okay, fine. That sounds good to me, because honestly, I was tired. I drove myself and my kids. My husband had work, so I drove myself and my kids over to Mississippi, which was like 4-ish hours. And then I spent a lot of time with my family that day. I was drained. My kids are always a handful in the back seat. 2 boys driving for a long time, fighting. Of course, I was tired, so I was like, don't have to tell me twice. I get to sleep in a little bit. No, my dad, he said that, but he did not mean that. I'm not going to call my dad a liar, but he did not mean that. The next morning, 5 a.m., I hear knocking on my door. I'm like, what time is it? What year is it?
What is the year?
1972.
Stumble, I'm like, hello? Like, I'm thinking like, come on now. You guys literally said 7, 8 a.m. My dad's like,
Change of plans, we're burning daylight, let's go.
what? Oh my goodness, okay. Packing up my stuff. I already packed up most of it, luckily, but I'm like putting my kids' clothes on. My mom comes in, she helps get my kids' stuff ready. I'm getting myself ready. I'm packing my stuff up. I'm like, why? What's going on? He was like, your uncle's already awake. Of course he is. He's an early bird too. He's like, yeah, it was a Sunday. So like, we need to go back, visit your uncle a little bit before they go to church. And I'm like, all right, 5 a.m. Going to a little family reunion at 5 a.m. My dad's like, yeah, come on, hurry up. We're burning daylight. I'm like, daylight where? It's not even daylight yet. It's almost daylight. We're about to be burning daylight, but it's still dark outside, Dad. And he's like, no, come on, let's go. We're burning daylight. I started laughing. This was just a couple months ago. And I started laughing because I've been hearing this phrase my whole life, that you think I would be so used to it, and I am, but I really thought this one time, like, oh, my dad, we're gonna sleep in a little bit. My parents are getting older. I was thinking like, okay, maybe they're getting older. They need their rest to sleep in before they drive 6-7 hours back home. They need their sleep. I get it. I can get my rest before I drive back home. We're Gucci. Another slang I'll teach another day. But I was like, we're good to go. It just means we're good to go. I was like, okay, we're good. We're Gucci. I don't have to worry about anything. And then boom, 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 5 a.m. knock on my door. Carley, come on, let's go. Burning daylight. Okay, guess we're not sleeping in. noted. All right. I just have to roll with the punches. Another phrase. Ooh, I'm on a roll today. I have to teach you guys some of these. Some of these I've taught before in past videos. Some I haven't, but you know, this is FasciNATIVE English. It's native, it's natural. As I'm talking to you right now, it's all natural coming from me as an American. So if I've taught you it, perfect. If I haven't taught you it, stay tuned. It's coming, all right? So yeah, my dad was just saying, you know, we're burning daylight, let's go. I was not ready for it, but it didn't take me by surprise because I knew, hey, this is just how my dad is. And this is his favorite phrase to say. There's two things that my dad likes to say, two phrases. First one, he drilled into my head, life's about choices. Second one, burning daylight. I think that's my dad's two favorite phrases. Life's about choices and burning daylight. Life's about choices isn't necessarily a phrase. It's more like a sentence, a statement, but you know, two favorite things for him to say. So I hope you guys have a better understanding of this phrase, burning daylight. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next video.